Welcome everyone, and welcome back to another session of coaching. And today we have Anjan, and thank you, Anjan, once again, for availing yourself. And what I'm going to do with Anjan over the course of the next various episodes, we're going to just bring all of us on a journey of coaching experience. So each one of the session, I'm going to introduce different techniques and different strategies where you, as a coach, can use, regardless whether you're ACC, PCC, or MCC, or even trying to explore new ways of entering the conversation. So we're just going to experience the moment and see what happens. Okay, so thanks, Anjan, once again.
Thank you, Jedi. Such a pleasure.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. So what's in your mind today?
So there's an interesting topic that I've been trying to push away for a while.
Okay.
It has things to do with getting better, getting fitter,
Okay.
getting healthier.
Mhm.
A topic that keeps coming in and out of my life. So that's a topic that I'd love to discuss today.
Okay, so a topic that is interesting that comes in and out of your life. So I like that. I like that I know the metaphor of like going in and out. So what has gone in but has not come out?
Okay, so I've all for a long time
Hmm.
struggled with wanting to get fitter.
Hmm.
And either starting off an action in that direction or just making excuses all the time, saying I don't have the time to do it. And that's a constant issue that me and my husband fight about.
Okay.
Uh, so I thought earlier it was because, I had too many things to do. I was in India and I was balancing. Now I'm in a different country and for the last 2 weeks I've been trying to mentally prepare myself to do something about my health, but I'm back at square one. So I think a lot about
Okay.
health. I
Yeah.
think a lot that I should do something
Mhm.
to lose weight, to exercise, to be fitter, to be able to go on all those treks with family, but I end up doing nothing.
Mm. Okay. So not right now, what's the in and out that you just mentioned earlier? What is the ins and outs?
So there was a phase where almost 6 months, 6 to 8 months daily, I was doing fitness.
Mhm.
Then there was a phase when I was doing swimming for about a
Yep.
few months. There was a phase when I was eating healthy. So it's in phases, but that phase is the in and it doesn't last too long.
Okay. So those phases are the ins. And what is the out that you're envisioning?
The outs is yesterday, super stressful. Husband said, go out for a swim or a walk, it'll change your frame of mind. And I'm like, no, that will take me 45 minutes. I'd rather
Mhm.
spend that time just sitting and not doing anything or reading a book or with family.
Yeah.
So I always find, so that's the out. I always find a reason.
So there's always a reason for you to get out of that um thing that you're supposed to get into, which is your health and fitness and wanting to get fitter. Okay. And why is this important for you, like in this season of your life?
I am getting older and
Oh,
I
oh,
am.
you're getting younger. I'm sensing a little younger.
No, I used to trek a lot,
Yeah.
and I was strangely a very thin, skinny teenager
Mhm.
who always got bullied because I was too thin. And then from 25, it's been the exact opposite. So, so it's been harder to keep up with the 7-year-old boy that I have, harder to go on treks, harder to go on long walks, gets tiring, knees start hurting, back starts hurting. So I can physically see all those changes.
Mhm.
And if I want to maintain at least another 10, 15 years of enjoying these activities with family, um, I think I should do something about it.
Okay. Okay. And it's when better to do than now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree on paper.
Okay. So logically paper it makes sense, but in reality trying to make that happen for you, that's the challenge that you're facing. Okay. And by the end of this conversation, where would you like to be in terms of the ins and outs?
either happy with the outs and not keep on trying to revisit the ins, or actually doing something about it.
Okay. Okay. Either be happy with the outs or just be entirely happy with the ins.
Yes.
Okay. And for you, if you could kind of describe what is happiness for you, what would that be for you?
Mm, like in general, what is happiness?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because you mentioned earlier that the one of the reasons to adjust the ins and outs is really to be happy and to get a fitter life and to stay healthy for your 7-year-old boy and at least for the next 10 to 15 years. So what would that happiness look like for you?
To me, happiness is one, mental peace. Like I
Okay.
like to have stress-free life,
Hmm.
uh, centered around family. I think that's very important to me. Um, and being comfortable with myself.
Mm.
I think those are three things that I would describe. If all those three things are ticked, I think I'm happy.
So all those things must come together, like
Yes.
like a convergence.
Yes.
Okay. And how are they converging right now?
Good question. Uh, a little off balance. Little off balance.
Hmm.
Stress levels have been higher,
Hmm.
which has started impacting things we do together as a family. Like if I'm feeling out of it, if I'm stressed, if I'm not feeling happy with myself, it kind of the amount of time that I spend with my son completely present, listening to his conversations reduces.
Hmm.
Um, I feel tired. I
Hmm.
don't feel motivated. So yeah, it does impact the other things.
Hmm. So how do you see these three things that you just mentioned? Like in ideal state, because you mentioned that you want them to kind of have like an integration. And is there like a visual image or something that you're envisioning?
So in an ideal state,
Mm-hmm.
after a 9 to 5 job, which I'm doing decently well at, going back home, um, being completely present with family, doing things together, uh, planning trips, having new experiences. Uh, I'm feeling like I'm living life to the fullest.
Mm. Living life to the
That's me.
fullest.
Yeah.
Yeah. And how's life for you now?
Not so full. Some days are just wasted away with stress and worry, and less attention to family. Interestingly, if I'm in a stressed out, bad mood or not feeling good about myself, even the cooking gets affected. So what whether my family has tasty food at night or not also depends
Depends on
on
you.
these factors.
Yeah, so it sounds like the stress does kind of affect everything. It
Yeah.
affects your mood, and by your mood, it affects your how you feel for the day, and it then affects your kind of like your behavior because you may not feel like wanting to go for a walk, and then after that, because you didn't go for a walk, it goes back to the cycle again. You feel like yeah. So then that off balance that you just talked about earlier happens.
Yeah. I also think that in my head,
Hmm.
the stress or whatever, like my husband believes that you go for a walk and that'll tackle the frame of mind, the stress, the negative feelings you're feeling. But
Hmm.
I don't think I'm totally convinced that that approach,
Yeah, will work for
counter,
you.
yeah,
Yeah. Well, what
maybe
if like maybe what if you don't have to remove that stress? What if it's okay to live with that stress?
oh my God, I don't like that that picture in my head.
What's the picture that you're seeing now?
Oh, it's like a zombie.
Mhm.
I think neither here nor there.
Mhm.
Just trying to solve for something and constantly being very keyed up,
Mhm.
uh, and not enjoying either work or home or self. Like
Mhm.
that's not a good place to be.
So you're feeling like the zombie, a little zombie state.
Yep.
Mhm. And how mutinized are you right now to the state of zombification?
Um, 2 days back,
Yep.
full blown crazy man eating zombie.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
Today, so it depends. Like it depends on the day. Um, Today still have spurts of zombiness if somebody pokes me, but otherwise, yeah, on the border.
Okay. So on the border of zombification.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm kind of curious, because you mentioned that yesterday or a few days back it was like a man-eating zombie, and now today it's like spurts of zombie. So I'm sensing that there was some form of antidote or some form of solution or some form of like the T serum that managed to get injected in for that zombie to kind of reverse back to the normal you. What could have happened?
The realization, one, that it is in full blown zombie mode and I have to do something about it. That was one. And what I did about it was, of course, talk a lot about it to a lot of people. My husband, poor thing, is probably the bore the most brunt, but consciously put myself in a better mental space. Um, Went out with my son, bought him a cycle, um, spent some time with him, went for a walk. I don't want to accept it, but yes, went for a walk. Uh, yeah, like consciously blocked out the
Yeah.
stress
Hmm.
and spent time with family.
Hmm.
And then things just solve themselves somewhere.
Mm. So I'm noticing something is happening here. You have hidden that little antidote, that zombification antidote somewhere within Anjan's special suitcase that she could take it out, and once it's injected in, she can consciously put herself in a better place. So that's something I'm really curious about. So where is that antidote currently hiding?
So right now, the antidote doesn't come out by itself. It
Okay.
reaches very close to breaking point where the husband says, "You better do something about it because I can't live with you like this." And that's when, okay, probably I'm pushing it too far.
Yeah.
Um, and I have to take out an antidote. I think, yeah, I think there is an external trigger to that.
Okay. So the trigger has to be strong enough for you to reach into that antidote.
Yes.
Okay. So what if you could choose to take it out earlier?
I definitely would have uh, kept my blood pressure in check for a little longer. I wouldn't be having a high blood pressure for 2 days unnecessarily. Um, yeah, but I mean, I wish if I had a magic wand, I'd, I'd take it all out. It isn't easy. It
Hmm.
isn't easy when things are happening and you are feeling as many emotions.
Yeah.
Um, to see it clearer at that point of time.
Hmm.
And my husband believes that if I jump into a pool or go into a walk or hit the gym, then that that jump to the antidote will happen faster.
Mm. And what do you believe can help you jump to that antidote faster?
No, I know what he's saying makes a little sense. Like it's unfair of me because I don't think I've even tried it to say it doesn't work. But the effort to get
Jump.
out of that frame of mind and try it,
Yeah.
it just feels like it's adding more stress.
Mm.
It doesn't feel like it's taking off the stress. It feels like, imagine this, right? You're anyway not spending time with your son.
Mm.
You're anyway, when you're with spending time with your family, you are upset and thinking about a lot of things. Now imagine taking out 1 hour and not being around them.
Mm.
So it feels counterproductive to try that.
Mm.
Um, you believe that okay, I can still stay here, and okay, I'll try and get better. I'll try and get like you want to believe that instead of spending that 1 hour doing something else, you can spend that 1 hour at home and change your frame of mind, which doesn't
Mm.
always happen.
Mm. Could I share some observations that I'm noticing?
Yes, please.
Yeah. As you're just sharing about that sense of zombification, that zombie realizing it's a full-blown zombie and the external trigger of the husband. In that situation, right, it seems like there's always the external force that needs to happen for you for the zombification to happen, or for the zombification to be returned back to the humanification. So so it's always the external thing that is like waiting for that to happen before the change happens. So what if it's okay to be the zombie and it's okay to switch on that humanness as well, but rather than the choice being from external in, but now the choice becomes internal out. So you now have a choice to activate that special uh, power within yourself, right? To do all the tasks, to do all the work that you need to do. But then when it's time and get ready to face your family and to be with your loved ones, you're able to switch that and then get back into the supermom Anjan to deliver the best dish, the best working experience with the son, and the best spouse for your husband.
That is ideal, but yeah, I mean, I don't know how to make it happen.
Okay. So in the moment when you were a zombie, who is your husband?
The truth teller,
The truth teller. Okay, and then
showing you the mirror. I think that's probably the best way to describe it. He's showing me what I'm becoming into.
okay, and that kind of trigger you to say, okay, it's time to take out the antidote. Okay,
Yeah.
so if today if the husband is busy, is there something else that you can use to help you see that mirror?
Eventually, after another day or two, will see the mirror myself. It's just that he brings it faster.
Okay, so he brings it faster. So I like that you mentioned he brings it faster. Is there something else that you can do that is independent of what your husband is doing that you can bring the mirror faster to yourself?
Take a break and spend 10 minutes with myself and consciously see the mirror.
Okay. And what is the mirror for you?
What I want out of life, the
Hmm.
priorities.
Okay.
Um, like for me, I've always believed work is work, family is family, and work can come and go.
Mm-hmm.
But family and health um, is the most important. And you may be amazing at what you do at work. Uh, But if it costs you your family and your health, um, and if something happens, nobody else at work will be affected.
Mm.
Only your family will be affected. So that is something I very believe in my core. Mhm. It's just that sometimes I forget.
Mm. Okay. So I like what you just mentioned there. There is the picture of your family. If you bring that to mind, it will help you remember that family and health is the most important. So what I'm hearing you share as well, it's that that mirror might not always just be a mirror. It can be a mirror that you can peer in and look at not just you, but also your family. So what if the mirror is not a mirror? What if the mirror is like a doorway, a window into the house? And you're just outside the house and just say, hey, you know what, that's the Anjan. You know, I'm doing all this, but what's most important for me? I'm like, that's the Anjan that I want to be. The mother, the spouse, the partner, you know, the person who just enjoys the family.
Yeah, I think, but that's what it is, right? Like, it's not that the house is not there, that window is not there. It's just that when all this situation is happening,
Mhm.
to think about, okay, I need to go to that house, I need to look through that window is not the
Coming.
first reaction.
Mm,
Um, of course, if I could do it, it would solve and it it would bring me back to my senses in a way.
mhm.
Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, it doesn't always feel like that.
Could I share with you one thought for you to just maybe perhaps consider as a
Okay.
possibility. You know, I also
Okay.
so if we circle back to that zombie metaphor, I remember watching a couple of zombie movies, right? And whenever the protagonist or the antagonist is a zombie, but somehow whenever they see a picture of their loved ones, whether it's on a pendant or whether it's on the screen, or maybe they're going through the computer and they see some image of their family, suddenly the zombie has this like humanness that just pops up, right? And suddenly that zombiness is all gone. So I'm wondering, you know, if there are tools and objects that you can surround yourself at work, that's close to you on your desk, on your computer, and that could be like your zombie trigger or your human trigger, much like the zombie trigger, but you also have the human trigger where you can say, oh, okay, you know, there's a little pendant, there's a little something, there's a little object that's around me on my desk, on my computer, that could bring to that conscious mind. What do you think of that?
I think it's worth a shot.
Mhm.
Um, I will have to think of one image, object, whatever triggers that emotion. I think that requires a little digging and a little thought. But yeah, I think that should work.
Mhm.
It'll at least be like a constant reminder,
Yeah.
um, that hey, what are you doing? Are you are you seeing the bigger picture?
Mhm. Okay. And what are you realizing about yourself?
I can do it. I'm just too lazy. Probably. No, no, not that. I think it's not that I don't know, right? Like probably 5 years back or 10 years back, probably
Yeah.
I wouldn't even be able to tell what the antidote is and if there is an antidote or what is triggering. Now I can tell,
Mm.
but I'm not able to action. I think the next
Mm.
step
Connection.
is to action. And what happens is I think you think of it only when you're triggered to be the zombie, right?
Yeah.
You don't think of it when things are calm and you're human.
Mm.
Somewhere I think you need to think of it when you're calm and when you're human and say, hey. So only if you practice it in a normal environment when things are happy,
Yeah.
will it become a part of your life
Mhm.
and still be there when pressure builds up.
Mm. Yeah, well, I like what you mentioned that is that creating that little habit of just doing that same thing of being that human that you wanted to be. And even if the things just comes up and they try to bring you to that zombie state, that's always this thing that you're doing on a consistent basis that builds into something sustainable.
Agreed.
Yeah. Yeah. And because we talked about earlier, this one small thing which you can kind of do. And I always believe in small steps, tiny habits, tiny steps to make transformative change. So before we see the big change happen, right? What is the one small thing you can do today, right after this call, that that could put around you in the area of the greatest zombie threats, right? We call it the Z Nation, or the greatest zombie threat. What is something very, very little that you can do that could help you to stay conscious of that family and health being the most important?
I think what I'm going to do is go back to my repository of photographs and files and see, go through it and see that one or two pictures that evoke the state I always want to be in with
Yep.
family, and make that my screensaver on the laptop.
Hmm?
I think that is something I'm going to do right after.
That sounds wonderful. I just want to acknowledge, like, as we're kind of wrapping this up, that how it's not easy, to face all these things and wanting to that help. But I saw how you tried to bring that conscious awareness of realizing that, hey, if I can become a zombie, I could also become a human. And that little trigger, something very, very small. It used to be my husband to kind of remind me as the mirror. But now, what if I don't have to just rely on him, right? I could find little things that can help me to bring that conscious awareness of family and health. And that's what I saw, what you did there, right? That bringing that conscious awareness, trying to do that little, finding the little picture, finding a little transformation for yourself as well. So I think that's something very, I can see that the work you're doing within yourself as well.
Thank you. Maybe I'll also, apart from the family picture, also take out a picture of me 10, 15 years back and say, hey, I could look like that again. Maybe
Yeah.
that will drive health.
Yeah, I think that
Yeah,
that could be wonderful. Maybe one side here
it's
is Anjan 10 years from now, and the other side is where, the family. I think that's a beautiful picture. Yeah, it's a beautiful.
I will try and see that.
Yeah, okay, sounds great. And so, how are you feeling right now?
I'm feeling good. I'm
Hmm.
feeling in control.
Hmm.
I'm feeling that there is hope. So I think that's always a good thing.
Yeah, I love what you mentioned there. There's hope. Yeah, good. And what would you like me to check in with you in our next session?
Maybe I can show you the pictures.
Okay.
Uh, and probably we could discuss what the trigger points were
Yeah,
and how much zombification I could resist and how much I couldn't.
yeah.
And we can take it from there.
Okay, sounds great. Thank you, Anjan, once again for being so open and so kind for our audience here and everyone who's watching this. Just to really step into Anjan's world and just being here, very, very present, and really thank you once again for being so open. It's not easy, especially such a very close topic to your heart. And I know it's gonna get beautiful. The beautiful days are coming ahead, and I'm gonna see a more glorious version of Anjan as the days goes.
Thank you, Jedi. It was a
Thank
nice conversation.
Yeah,
Thank
it
you.
is. Thank you. So, if you like what we see, stay tuned because we're going to have more sessions with Anjan, and we're going to take this little bite-sized conversations or laser conversations in the next stages. Today, we've seen the use of a simple metaphor from the client's repository and using that as a way to help the client to take baby steps forward. It's always about taking the baby steps forward for transformation. It's not about trying to make big changes, but little changes that is easy and is doable. Okay, so thanks, Anjan, once again, and until next time, we'll catch you all over.
Thank you, Jedi.
Thank you.
Bye.